Because I'm like super nervous right now and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like sweating buckets.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily. I'm a third-year naturopathic medical student, and today I have a guest. This is Harmin.
Hi.
And she's also a quarter 10 with me. We both just completed quarter 9, which was our first quarter in clinic, and we're going to be talking a little bit about our experience. Now we're going to talk about our first patient visit.
Yeah.
First.
Sure. I had my first patient at Roosevelt, and my primary just left without me, and I didn't know I was just supposed to get up and follow. But I realized that later on. So I thankfully he didn't enter the room, so I like caught up to him, and I was like, oh, I'm your secondary, my name is blah blah blah, and like Harmin, but yeah, I went to the room with him and stuff, and he introduced me to the patient, and I was like, I'm gonna take your vitals, is that okay? Took her vitals and everything, and yeah, after that he did most of the work, and I got to watch. It was an acupuncture treatment, so it was nice to watch. I didn't really do much because he was like, do you want to point as well? And I was like, I think I'll just watch for my first patient because I'm like super nervous right now and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like sweating buckets and like, yeah, I was super nervous.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did anything like, that was it?
Yeah.
Otherwise straightforward? Very straightforward,
yeah. And then he asked me to print out the treatment sheet, and my laptop wasn't connected to the printer.
Oh yeah, printer issue.
That one, connect your laptop to the printer because you're gonna be asked to print stuff, and that's going to be an issue if you don't have it connected.
Is it different for Roosevelt?
No, it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like some people didn't have it.
I had printing issues. Like at first mine was connected and then it got disconnected for some reason because we switched over.
Odd.
I assume because we switched it over to Sonoran and they were like switching things up and whatnot. And so it like wouldn't print for a few weeks and then finally it like was working again. So
okay.
I don't know. Thank you, IT.
I don't like IT. Okay, so moving on, do fix that because majority of the people at Roosevelt couldn't print for some odd reason. They eventually figured it out though. But yeah, that was about it. That was my first patient experience. What about you? I don't like it. Okay, so moving on, do fix that because majority of the people at Roosevelt couldn't print for some odd reason. They eventually figured it out though. But yeah, that was about it. That was my first patient experience. What about you? Okay,
so my first patient was very interesting, very overwhelming because one, it was the first patient, it was a homeopathy shift, and she was coming in, she had like 4 different conditions going on, like just literal medical conditions. Am I allowed to like say them yet?
No, I don't know. Actually, well,
I think so.
Yeah,
as long as it's not patient.
Be very HIPAA compliant, you guys.
Yeah.
No names, no date of births, no nothing.
No patient identifiers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say they had Ehlers-Danlos, they had MCAS, so they are like multiple chemical sensitivity syndrome. They had EMF sensitivity, like hypersensitivity, and they had like one other thing. I don't know, they just had a lot going on, and so it was a very interesting intake. It was just very overwhelming because it's like, how do you know what's part of what?
Yeah.
And because all of our like prior, our training is like they have one condition, even though obviously we know a lot of them are going to come in with many things. It's just very different when you have like a super complex, and she was just super complex overall in general, but very interesting. And then so that was, we did our medical intake, and then the next week we did our homeopathic intake, which I don't know, maybe I'll talk about that later. It's a different kind of intake, and then we prescribed a remedy, and then we never saw this patient again. Yeah,
great.
It was a really interesting case though. I wish we had gotten to see like if it worked or if it was too much or what.
Yeah. And they never came back.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Mine came back. I just never got to see her again.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So let's talk about that next. Patient continuity. This gets me like riled up.
Okay. Yeah, you had a lot of issues.
Not just that, just the structure of it. So like, I think more as a secondary, you don't necessarily get to see your patients every week or every visit that they come in. Especially also just being part of like a student rotation is like, if they can't make the same time or like the same time frame next week, then they'll probably do another shift that attending is on, so they'll have the same actual doctor that they're working with, but they won't have the same student doctors, or student clinicians. So we don't get to see each of these like steps. Like we might have to see them and then never see them again, and then see another patient that's been worked on by like another shift, or like another person was on them. And there's just like, it's really hard to have like a continuity with the patients and like actually see them get better, see them over time.
Yeah.
I feel like
I didn't really have that problem.
okay, like good for you. That's good. I'm glad they won't be like that forever.
No, like Roosevelt, they had a set thing going on. The same kind of, almost the same people would be showing up every week for their treatments. And like one or two would be new or something, or like we would get another patient from some other shift. But it was mostly pretty solid and straightforward. But the medical center, I feel like that was a little bit more jumbled up for me because yeah, there would be different patients like Lily was saying, and then you would never get to follow up with them because they would go on another shift for the same doctor, but they wouldn't come to your shift sometimes, and it would just get frustrating because it'd be like, wait, I didn't get to see you, and like, what happened? Like, I want to know what happened.
Yeah, and then it's like, how do I know that like what I prescribed, like in any form for them?
Did it work?
Yeah, was it helpful or was it not? And then, but I mean, that's good that there's more continuity with Roosevelt. The other thing is like, even
watch it not be like continuous.
No, don't say that. Even being on the same shift, like I've noticed, so like a lot of times, so at the beginning of the shift, you write down like all the patients, like their initials who are coming in, and then the time. So I noticed that like, oh, I remember this patient from like a couple weeks ago, but then I wasn't the secondary on there for their visit anymore. So then it's like, and then you're busy with your other patient, and so you're in and out, the other team is in and out, and you don't really get to follow the case. Yeah,
if you're a secondary. If you're a primary, you do mostly.
Yeah, because they like to keep that consistency, I guess.
Which I kind of like. Because as a primary, I would want to establish patient.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've heard primaries talk about how like they've done like so much work, like a new patient visit for a new patient.
Yeah.
They've done like all this work and they've had so many new patient visits, and then they just don't ever see them again.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like really, I feel like it's hit or miss. Like you don't always know. And plus it's broken up into quarters. So like if you don't even have that attending the next quarter, you're probably definitely not going to see that patient again.
Unless you like beg them and be like, can I please be on your shift?
Yeah. And it's hard too because like if you're getting a patient from another shift, then you have to like catch up on all of their history.
That's the hard part.
That's a lot of work, and just like fully understanding the case is different than like if you were with them the whole time.
Yeah. When we first started, I would be reading all their chart notes. For my first patient, I read all of it. Like, you don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that unless you really like want to. Just go for it. You're wasting your time. But, like, unless you're like the primary for that patient, then yes, you should read all of it. But as a secondary, you're not expected to know so much about the patient.
Yeah, they don't really ask you that much.
Yeah, take it easy. The first quarter, I was not taking it easy. I was like, I need to know everything. But then eventually I learned that I don't need to be reading so much about this patient, and I can move on with my life.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about clinical attire for yourself, because it wasn't an issue, it was just I was very lost, because another point you'll be lost on. So first day, first shift was at Roosevelt. So I was thinking I have to dress to the nines. So I'm like in a really nice top with really nice pants on, really nice shoes, got my watch on. I'm like decked out.
Okay, wait, real fast. Roosevelt is one of our community clinics, so it's one of our like school sponsored free clinics for like the more like low income patients. So
as you can imagine, thankfully I wasn't the only person. There was like more Q9s that did the same, so it was great. I wasn't the only one. But we entered and my attending was just like, oh, you guys can wear whatever you want. You can come in scrubs, you can wear your fancy scrubs, you can wear lame scrubs, like anything you want, I don't care. And I was like, oh, okay, I can like lay back for this. Cut to, I go to the medical center and everybody's dressed in nines. And I'm like, what? And I'm wearing scrubs. For the medical center.
But that also depends on your attending too.
Yeah, so for the medical center attending, I had, so she looked at our shoes. So make sure your shoes are good.
Make sure they're clean and they're within dress code, we'll say.
Yeah, no sneakers and muddy stuff. Okay, yeah, you can do sneakers, but just make sure they're clean.
Okay.
Because she subtly looked at it. Like she went a little back and she was like checking out her shoes. And I was like, okay, good. I wore clean shoes.
Yeah, both of my attendings, they let us wear whatever we wanted, pretty much, like scrubs or whatever nice clinic attire you want.
And then eventually at the medical center, I saw other people wearing scrubs on my shift. It was just, I guess it was like the first day and they wanted to impress people.
Oh, okay. Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day they were all wearing scrubs and I was dressed to the nines. It was great. Like, I was just like, I do not know what to wear anymore at this point.
It's fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah. I got over it really quickly after.
As long as you don't get sent to CSDS for it, then you're good. Now we're going to talk about the different kind of treatments that we used on patients in clinic this last quarter.
Okay, so I got a chance to see cupping done. I got a chance to see the gua sha. I got a chance to see acupuncture. And then at the medical center, I got to see constitutional hydrotherapy, more acupuncture, kind of. That's about it, yeah. It was nice. It's different from what we learned. That's what I want to say for sure. Clinic is different from everything we've learned. It's just out the window and you're learning again for everything they want you to know. And then they say, don't use this stuff on your exams.
Okay, interesting. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, for like constitutional hydrotherapy, it's much more proper. And they don't, so you know how we have like a huge towel?
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually, to build your tolerance up, they actually use a hand cloth. And that's it.
I sat on a hydrotherapy and I think they used a big towel.
Yeah.
But it was a different shift, it wasn't your shift.
Okay, so my attending specialized in constitutional hydrotherapy.
Yeah.
So she said like, because they're a new patient and stuff and they need to build their tolerance over it, they're gonna use a hand towel and be nice to them.
That's interesting because when we practiced on each other in lab,
we were dying with the big towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't they let us do this?
I know, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Easton was very different too.
Oh, I didn't do East. I don't think we did Easton.
For the constitutional?
I don't think so. Oh yeah, I think we did.
Yeah,
we definitely
yeah.
did.
There was like sponges.
But it was like different because they had the machine in there and it was like,
it was a different machine.
I just didn't see it because there were 2 primaries on that shift for me. Or 2 secondaries, so we like just rotated in and out of the room.
Okay, yeah.
And there was like the primary who was really doing it.
Okay.
So yeah. So I did constitutional hydrotherapy, but you were on that shift.
Yeah.
So constitutional hydrotherapy, acupuncture. We had someone do like a glutathione nebulizer where they like inhaled it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it smells bad though.
Okay,
it smells
never
like sulfur. IV therapy, I didn't really get to, I set it up, but I didn't get to see it or do it, anything with that. Obviously homeopathy, we prescribed lots of like supplements, did diet therapy. Oh yeah, we did gua sha too for like Achilles tendonitis. That's not right. Plantar fasciitis. What else? That was mostly it, I think.
Yeah.
Because one shift was all homeopathy. And
Oh,
the other
I got to do a sauna treatment on someone too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. One of the saunas don't work, so watch out.
Hopefully it'll be fixed by then.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so those are all the therapies that we got to try this quarter. It's been interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a new quarter.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Learn new things, learn more things.
Okay, this is a great ending. All right, well, see you next time. Give us a comment if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe to the video. Again, this is Harmin. She's on Instagram as
Naturopathic Tales.
And you can find me on Facebook, obviously here on YouTube, and Instagram at liliesnatural.life. All right, see you next time.